My boy No Limit don't play no games. He already in the building. What's good, No Limit? We already getting people. Yes, yes. So y'all know the routine. Go ahead and drop me a like or dislike, whatever feels better for you. Go ahead and share this over to Instagram and all of the other social media sites. Today we will be talking about old school versus new school and the differences between the two when it comes to growing. We're going to talk about growth styles. We're going to talk about the separation between the old growers and the new growers. We're going to talk about the older strains. We're going to talk about older breeders. We're going to touch a whole bunch of different subjects today about old school versus new school. So y'all get over there, share it up. You know I'm about to do the same thing. So we could rock out for 1 second while I get everything all situated, and we'll be back. Money to cash, the cars to close. I live my life like I'm playing Monopoly. Give me 2 Glocks on the side when I'm riding. I do what I want and ain't nobody stopping me. Bands, I don't go and drop at the jeweler. I keep all my money tied up in this property. Bands, I don't go and drop on my shooter. I keep buying blocks like I'm playing Monopoly. Money to cash, the cars to close. I live my life like I'm playing Monopoly. Give me 2 Glocks on the side when I'm riding. I do what I want and ain't nobody stopping me. Bands, I don't go and drop at the jeweler. I keep all my money tied up in this property. Bands, I don't go and drop on my shooter. I keep buying blocks like I'm playing Monopoly. Money to cash, the cars, the clothes. I live my life like I'm playing Monopoly. Nothing can stop me from living in luxury. AP on me, so I know that they watching me. Trying to get bags and stars and shows. Buy up the block like I'm playing Monopoly. Roof at the back when I push on this button. I work for this money, so nobody stopping me. Trying to tell y'all about how to get litty. Trying to tell y'all about how to get drippy. Trying to tell y'all how to fuck up the city. They see that new rollie on me and it's crippin'. What you gonna name out this life cause I done it? What you gonna tell me about boxes I run it? Yeah. So we just gonna give it a minute for all of the rest of the people to join in so everybody can get their shit ready. Y'all go ahead and get a blunt roll to get you a drink, whatever it is that you like doing. Get all that situated. We got a great discussion tonight. Tone Grow up in here. What's happening? 813 Genetics. What's happening? I ain't feel like going through all the Zoom shit today, so I'll give you a day break. Yeah, give you a day break, man. One day you get 1 day off out the week. Yeah. Good old pomegranate juice. The Green Man, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up as you come in. It helps to spread the word. It helps to make the stream a lot more available to other people. It starts to pop up in people's recommended sections because we want to get a lot more people in on these conversations because this is the Real Talk Cannabis podcast where nobody got to bite their tongue, where nobody got to feel no type of way about what they saying, where there's no such thing as a stupid question, and the only stupid question is the questions that aren't asked. So make sure y'all hit that thumb, whether you give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Just make sure that you give some sort of reaction to these videos. We'll give it a few more seconds, let a few more people get in, and then we'll get started. Stoner love to all. You already know. Blessing RX Mason, what's happening with you? Oh yeah, man. We got something special. I don't know if everybody over here is also over on Beast Coast Grower 420 on Instagram, but earlier I mentioned that I wanted to be able to get Gas House in here. Kingston's finest, you already know. Kingston grown. And as soon as I put it up, he actually replied to me and said to give him about a week or two, and we're gonna be able to get Gas House Genetics in here for a good interview. I'm gonna have my boy Frosty McNasty really deal with the questions and everything. We may stream it from a couple of different places, but that's gonna be something epic to have one of the biggest black growers in the cannabis game in here to give us an interview where you guys can ask questions about commercial cultivation. I'm gonna try to get as many big growers as I can. I'm gonna try to get as many of the larger black growers that I can, but since it ain't that many, I'm just gonna have to settle for whoever the hell we can get. I want to get some major level growers in here for the people who are looking to upgrade, for the people who are looking to get into the legal market, so we could talk about the processes that you have to go through, the inspections that you have to go through, the evaluations that you have to go through. They have programs that you got to have certain, and depending on what state you're in, you got to have people who've been charged with cannabis in that state. That's who you got to have working with you and helping you run the businesses. So it's a bunch of different things that you got to be able to do. And I want to be able to have those commercial cultivators to be on here for people to be able to get those questions answered, because a lot of people that's going to be looking to get into the legal market. You see, New Jersey just went legal along with a whole bunch of other states. The federal government is talking about decriminalizing it and dropping it from a Schedule 1 drug. You see Jay-Z just got into the cannabis industry. He's releasing a brand new line of cannabis. He got flower, he got joints, he got a whole bunch of different things. So prime time to get into it. I know you got ganja grower, what's happening. It's a perfect time to get into this. Like, just imagine if your family back in the day could have got into the could have got into like Newport, to Marlboro, to one of the cigarette companies back then, how rich your family would be right now. Well, cannabis is going to wind up being the same way once it's able to be in Walmart and the rest of these places, and pre-rolled joints come in packs of fucking 10 and you can buy them out the corner store. You're going to be able to want to have one of those kind of brands. You're going to need to learn that kind of marketing. So that's the reason I want people like Gas House. I want a lot of the bigger cultivators to be able to be on here, to give those interviews, to answer questions, to give that kind of information to us. And that's what this podcast is going to be about, because it's going to be real talk. They ain't got to bite their tongue. They ain't got to do nothing. They can say what they want to, smoke one, do whatever. There won't be no rules on here. As y'all come in, do not forget to hit the thumbs up. Today, we are going to talk about old school versus new school. We're going to talk about the different growth styles that come along with this thinking, the different genetics that come along with this thinking, how I feel about this thinking, how you guys feel about this thinking. It's going to be a great conversation. So don't forget to share this over to your Instagram and get some other people involved in this conversation. We'll give it about 10 more seconds before we get started on the first topic, just to give a few more people a chance to come in, and then we'll get it going. So y'all go ahead and twist something up or pour you a drink or do whatever it is y'all got to do. We'll be ready shortly. What up, what up, what up? I see all the new people coming in. Hit that thumb when you come in. 813, how the hell ain't you a moderator? Well, mainly because you're supposed to be on the panel, but boom, you're a moderator now. What about land races? Maybe we could talk about those later. Oh, trust me, land races is already on the menu to be spoken about today. Definitely to be spoken about today. Yeah, 813, you normally supposed to be on the damn panel, so I never bothered to make you a moderator because you normally host the show with me. All right, all right. So I guess we can get started on the first topic. We got Natty McBarbar in the building. Flamingo Jones, what's happening with your pimp? So for starters, we'll talk about why there's a separation between the old school growers and the new school growers. I think the old school growers have completely left out the fact that the generation before them didn't like what they were doing. The generation before them that didn't like what they were doing, the generation before them didn't like what they were doing. Like, the generation now doesn't appreciate the generation before. It just happens. There's change. There needs to be an upgrade that happens. There needs to be a paradigm shift that happens. And that's going to happen by the newer growers being able to learn from the older growers, incorporate some of that knowledge into the new methods of growing, and be able to take it a step further. But it's like the older growers feel as if we're being disrespectful. The older growers feel as if we're violating them almost by not accepting 100% what they said. But when there's new methods, when there's new technology, when there's new information available, we can't just negate all of the new information and get stuck in the past. You got to be able to step into the future. And if you can't step into the future, you will get left in the past. So those older growers that are thinking like this is still the 40s, those older growers that are scared to step into the LEDs, the older growers that are scared to step into the new genetics, the new methods of growing where you hooking up your watering systems instead of hand watering 80 plants every single night. Like, those type of methods might have worked back then. Those methods might have worked great back then. Those genetics might have been great to you back then. But to come to the growers of today and be like, hey, the strains that we had back then are way better than anything that you have right now. THC testing says different. Terpene profiles say different. Why wouldn't it get any better? Are you saying that we haven't upgraded anything since you've been growing? Are you saying since the genetics you had out of all of the great breeders that we have, none of those breeders have been able to step it up a notch? We just stuck at the exact same level? That would be disrespectful to all the breeders that's out here right now to say that we need to go backwards. We don't need to move backwards. No one wants to use the iPhone 1 in 2020. It's 2020. Don't nobody want the iPhone 1. Don't nobody want a Kodak camera and 2020 where you gotta slide the thing over and then take a picture with the don't nobody want to go through that. Don't nobody want a VCR right now. Like granted, I still got one because there's some shit I still like to watch, but they don't sell those no more. Like again, I used this analogy before. It's almost like a rapper being on the corner today, still trying to pitch his CDs out to people when no one in their car has a CD player no more. Most of the new cars are made Bluetooth. They don't even have CD players no more. So what are we doing? Trying to hand out CDs in 2020, knowing that most of the cars don't even have CD players. That's what I'm saying. And I think it's putting a big disconnect between the older growers and the newer growers because they think we're being disrespectful by not using their methods and accepting their information. It's not that we're not accepting their information. We've done the trial and error on their information. We actually got the veggie back off of them. We actually got to learn from their mistakes. So for us to turn around and make the same exact mistakes that they were making back then, that wouldn't even make no sense. It wouldn't even make no sense. We have to upgrade. We have to move forward into the future with technology, with new information, with new sciences, with new ways of cultivation. If we don't, then we'll be stuck in the exact. Yeah, Anthony. Yeah, I still. Yeah, definitely still got a VCR. There's a couple of movies that I still want to watch, and I don't care if they on DVD or not. I don't care if I can go and buy them off of anything or not. I still want to pop that VHS in every now and then. But I'm not going to promote to the new school people like, hey, if you don't have a VCR inside of your house, you're not even a real movie person because you never got to watch VCRs. And that's basically what the older generation does to us. It's basically what the older generation does to us, and we'll never be able to move into the future if we're still going to be thinking in the past. We're going to get left behind. And I don't want to get left behind. None of y'all want to get left behind. Y'all want to be able to move with the cannabis industry the way that it's flowing. Y'all don't want to be stealing the HPS street lights off of the corner no more and growing in your room. Y'all don't want to be dealing with that type of shit no more because we got better technology now. Y'all don't want to be hand watering 80 plants no more when you know that you could just go ahead and throw up even some like the tubing, or you can use PVC. Go ahead and get you an automated watering system set up. We got timers that could give it for 1 minute, 2 minutes. You got Troll Masters. You don't even really have to be in your room no more. You can actually focus on so many other parts of perfecting your grow now because of the technology that we have now. It would be crazy to get stuck in the past and not want to use any of that anymore just because it's new school. And I hate when they call us youngins and say that we don't know anything. No, we do know something because at one point you was a youngin as well. And your elders was telling you didn't know nothing, and I don't think you appreciated the way that those elders were talking to you. So there has to be a way that you can say it that's a little less aggressive than to act like we don't know what we're doing. We're paving the way for the future. You should actually be encouraging the new growers a little bit more than discouraging the new growers a little bit more. So it's causing a big separation between the old school growers and the new school growers. I got to say that's one of the major problems. That's point number one. Don't forget to, if you got any questions, to go ahead and drop them into the chat. We'll get to them as we get to them. All questions will be answered, and the only stupid questions is questions that aren't asked. So even if you're a newbie, if you only been growing for a week or two and you got some questions, don't feel stupid for asking those questions. Go ahead and fire away. If I can't get to them, I got the smartest chat room in the cannabis industry. They're going to give you some amazing answers, so don't even worry about it. You're good to go. As you come in, don't forget to hit that thumbs up or thumbs down, depending on if you like this. Just give some sort of reaction. Share it over to your Instagram page. Get some people involved in this conversation. Topic number 2, we're going to go into facts. I'm about the bag. I don't care old or new. I'm here to give the people what they want and what's going to bring me the most money. So I'm not the biggest fan of runts. I'm not the biggest fan of Skittles. I'm not the biggest fan of Sour Patch Kids. I'm not the biggest fan of any of these new strains, to be 100 with you. But if it's what the people want and it's what they're going to pay top dollar for, then trust me, I'm about to load my garden up with it. I'll put a couple of plants in there for me to use for smoke purposes, but I'm not going to get stuck in my ways just because I love the gas. I love the OGs. ABVs. I love the sours. I love the chems. But am I going to load my room with that, assuming that everybody likes what I like? No, I'm going to follow the trend. If they like runts, then I'm loading rooms up with runts and Gary Payton and cereal milk. And am I going to smoke that shit? Nope. Do I like it? Nope. Does the new generation like it? Yep. So I guess I'm gonna be growing it. And the conversation. If it's gonna get me to the bag faster, then trust me, I'm going with the new method. I don't care about all of that. Facts, but you got to remember, even back then, there were hype strains too. There were hype strains in the past, like Northern Lights would have been a hype strain. White Widow would have been a hype strain. Hindu Kush would have been a hype strain. OG Kush would have been a hype strain. Purple Kush would have been a hype strain. Jack Herrera would have been a hype strain. Christmas Tree Buds, that would have been a hype strain. Dro was a hype strain at one time. Know what I'm saying? So every generation has its hype strains, and it just seems like the newer generations is the only ones that's receiving flack for having hype strains. But there's always been hype strains. There's always been strains that have been in demand by all the growers around, all the breeders around. It's not just something strictly stuck to the new generation, because if you check the lineage on a lot of the strains that we have right now, they're actually crosses of different phenols of the exact same strains. You might not GDP. You see what I'm saying? Like Granddaddy Purple used to be the shit. If you was down south, if you was in Atlanta, if you was in Georgia, if you was in Alabama, if you was in GDP was the movement. Granddaddy, everybody smoking that Granddaddy. You could hear songs where they was rapping about Granddaddy. Today, if you pulled out a bag of GDP, that shit better be like 800 a pack. That's that shit better be like 800 a pack. The THC test around like 13-14%, and that's the reason that Purple Punch was so trash. The reason that Purple Punch was so trash is because it's across a GDP and the Larry OG. The Larry OG can only bring it so far into the future, and it itself is not one of the best OGs to even be using. But when you cross something that's not the best to be using in the first place with something that's fucking ancient and doesn't have a high THC test, then what are you doing? Now imagine today you load your room up with Purple Punch, that shit test at 19% THC, and you can't get the packs off to none of the dispensaries because you stuck in the past and because it got GDP in it. It's automatically the best thing in the world. No. You feel what I'm saying, Natty? But if you pull out a pack of GDP in 2020, you might run into some issues. You're gonna run into some issues trying to get a good number on some GDP in 2020. Especially if you're in the legal market trying to get over to the dispensaries and you coming in there with a strain that tests at 14% THC. You'll be lucky if they take it at all. They might just tell you to blast that shit and come back with the extracts. Chocolate Thai crossed with Skittles. As soon as you said chocolate Thai, it was already over. No. We'll move on. Well, actually, that'll bring us into the next green crack, now called green ribbon. Oh, man. So that brings us into the next one. And it's old strains versus new strains, because I have a debate with a good buddy of mine every single day about the older strains versus the newer strains. Which one's better? Which one's worse? You tell me something. Is a car from the 1940s as good as the cars from today? No, they're not. They're a little bit more durable. They're a little bit more sturdy, but it's been improved over the years. Year after year after year, improvements get made. So you can't expect me to think that if somebody came to me today, I actually heard a podcast where there was a breeder that said, yo, the Northern Lights that I have is better than any other crosses that are out right now. Northern fucking Lights, bruh. If I hit the strip right now with packs of Northern Lights, they might just rob me for being so disrespectful to come to them with packs of fucking Northern Lights. They gonna think I'm trying to violate them. They gonna think I'm trying to disrespect them. They gonna think that, see, we're gonna talk about the sour in a minute. They gonna think that I'm trying to be funny if I popped up on the block right now with packs of White Widow and Northern Lights and Jack Herrera, and bruh, I cannot go to this new generation and try to convince them that Northern Lights is better than anything that they're smoking right now. That's not gonna work. See, there's certain strains that can make the crossover, but there's a bunch of strains that get left in the past and need to be left in the past. You don't need to be bringing everything into the future. You don't need to be bringing everything into the future. They served their purpose in the past, and we can leave them right there. They did a great job back then. They were we were able to veggie back off of those strains to create some great strains that we have today. But do we want those strains that were used back then to make the strains of today? No, we don't want them no more. He said, "No." You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, yeah. You cross anything with runts right now, and that thing gonna move. All you got to do is put runts on the end of it. It don't even got to be crossed with runts. Just put runts on the end of it and let it turn a little bit purple, and you lit. Them packs gonna move off the fucking table. But it's mainly because of the newer hype strain. Yeah, Kim 91 is still banging. Sour Diesel is still banging. There's a couple of strains that will progress into the future and can still be used because they're just going to survive the test of time. Jay-Z survived the test of time. There's Busta Rhymes survived the test of times. There's always going to be an exception to the rule. But for the most part, go look at a High Times magazine from 1980 and tell me if you want any of that today. Go watch Strain Hunters and tell me if you want any of that today. Facts, bro. I'd have did it too. Like, fuck it. All of this turned purple. Boom. This is all runts. 4,200 a pack. I need it. Somebody gonna cash that whole thing out off rip. Here you go. You're a happy camper. You can lie to the rest of the people and tell them it's runts. Their mind is gonna tell them that it's some fire when they smoke it, and I'm gonna take my bag and go the opposite direction to continue doing what I'm doing. GG4. Oh my God. Oh my God. See, there's even some newer strains that need to get left in the past. Like, again, I guess it really depends on what area you in. Like, I can't really pop up with no GG4 right now. Like, they're gonna laugh me out the fucking building if I popped up today with some GG4. Like, GG4 is like the new Blue Dream. When something's really easy to grow, gives a really massive yield, and the cuts are out there, everyone starts to grow it. Not everyone is good at growing it, so it gets mass produced, and after it gets mass produced, no one wants it anymore. It was the same thing that happened with Blue Dream. Blue Dream was a hit when it came out. Actually, I still believe that till this day, Blue Dream is one of the most sold strains on planet Earth, world over. Most people prefer Blue Dream, but can I pop up in my area today with some fucking Blue Dream and think that I'm about to get to the money? No. No, they're gonna laugh me out the building. They're gonna laugh me off the block. I can't pop up with none of that today. I have to give the people what they want. It's always called supply the demand. Supply the demand. Whatever the people are demanding, supply it. You'll get to the bag. If you are going against the grain and you're trying to get, you see what I'm saying? But if you're gonna take the Acapulco Gold to try to bring it into the future because you see some traits that's in it, then I say go for it. I say go for it. But I know somebody. I'm 29, so I know somebody that's my age. We're gonna see Acapulco Gold in the cross, and we're gonna ignore it from right then on. We're gonna see Mexican Sativa in the cross, and we're gonna ignore it from that point on. We're gonna see Colombian Gold, Panama Red. We're gonna see the names of these strains on the packs of seeds, and it's automatically a no-go for us because it doesn't have anything in it that we're familiar with. But there's always going to be a niche market for everybody. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be some growers that are still going to want that. But I'm targeting the newer growers because they're the ones that's willing to spend the most money. The old heads is stuck in their fucking ways, and they always want to negotiate. The younger ones, they got the bag, and they like to brag about how much they spent on that gas that they just got. Oh, if it ain't 70 or eighth, if it ain't 80 or eighth, it ain't no Zaza. If it ain't no 70, 80 or eighth, then I ain't getting it. I only smoke runts. I only smoke the Zaza. Oh, okay, bro. Yeah, here you go. I got you $70 an eighth. If that's what you want to pay, here, fuck it. I'm gonna supply the demand. If that's what you're demanding, then trust me, I'm here to supply it to you. I'm here to supply it to you. I'm not gonna ask no questions. I'm not gonna do none of that. How old is old? It really depends on what generation you coming from. Like me, I'm 29, so my definition of old, if somebody's 45, their definition of old is going to be different from mine. So when I was growing up, what we had to smoke on, we had sour. Like, I'm from the East Coast. We had sour and we had piff. That was it. That was it. If you wasn't smoking that Dowie, if you wasn't smoking no piff, then I don't even know what the fuck you was doing with your life. You could not bring no Northern Lights to my generation. You could not bring no White Widow to my generation. You could not bring no Acapulco Gold to my generation. You couldn't bring no Panama Red. You couldn't bring no Skunk. You couldn't bring none of that to my generation. Chem Dog was the farthest that we was going. Anything back beyond that, we ain't fucking with. Now, if you ask somebody that's older than me, they're going to have a different opinion on the strains that were popular when they were old. It's just going to be a difference of opinion. Now, imagine if Sour and Piff was my generation when I was younger. Can you imagine someone that's 18 right now? That's 10 years behind me. So when they were growing up, they might have had Gorilla Glue, they might have had wedding cake, they might have had gelato, they might have had sherbet, they might have had the guava, they might have had Girl Scout cookie. You know what I'm saying? So their definition of older strains is going to be very different from my definition of older strains because there's a 10-year gap. And if y'all think that a lot don't change within a 10-year gap, look at us within the last 2 years of how much society has changed in the last 2 years. Now multiply that by 10 years. Now for me, it's 10 years before their 10 years. Now somebody who's 39, 49, it's 20 years beyond my 10 years, but beyond my 20. So everything changes. Cheese, yeah. See what I'm saying? I couldn't pop up in my neighborhood with no cheese. You guys, this isn't race involved, but I just have to throw this out there. White people smoked very different weed than black people too. Like there was a major difference. Like where I was from, there was white boy weed, and then there was the weed that the people in the hood would smoke. There was a major difference. Like they still had the Northern Lights and Acapulco Gold and White Widows, and they had Christmas tree buds, the blueberries, the skunk number ones, the Jack Herrers, the Haze, they had that out there in the outskirts, out by the white growers. You know what I'm saying? Back down here in the hood where we were, we didn't want none of that weed that they had. That's what we called homegrown, and that was white boy weed, and we left that to them. We didn't bring that down here with us, and if we did, it better have been cheap. If it wasn't cheap, we didn't want it. So again, you got to know your area. You got to know the market that you in. You got to actually pay attention. You got to go in and study this. It's almost like the stock market. You don't want to go and invest into a stock that ain't going to do nothing and you don't know anything about it. You haven't seen it go up or go down or anything. Like you haven't gotten no information on this company before you deciding to invest into it. It's the same way in the cannabis industry. You got to know your area. If in your area they don't prefer citrus shit, you don't want to pop up with packs of mimosa. It's very citrusy, and just the smell alone might not get it to move. I wanted white boy weed, bro. No, we wanted white grower weed because we were able to get it at a better price. That was it. We didn't actually want to smoke that. Like we wanted sour. Again, it depends on what area you from. So everybody that's in the chat, when you were growing up in your area, just go ahead and list what was the strain that was popular for you in your area. Cheese had his day pre 2003, 2004. Yeah, that's a fact, bro. Like way back then, yeah, you'd have been able to get away with some cheese. Come 2006, 7, 8, 9, you don't want to pop up with no packs of cheese. Facts, bro. Just go ahead and knock on the window. Now I'm saying they're gonna slide you something, give them the money, and you get the hell up out of there. And you know what spot had what. See, in his era, Blue Dream, White Widow. What were some of the other strains that was popular in some of y'all areas? You know what I'm saying? Because depending on what area you from, something is going to be different. From Ohio, Lemon G was popping. Trainwreck. Oh, my God. Lime, we called it LG. Yo, can a man go eat? Can a man go eat shit? Yeah. What's happening with you? Yeah. Yo, y'all really need to change y'all names. That's another thing. If you guys are looking to be on YouTube and get some kind of reactions from people and get some followers and all of that, you guys got to have names that's a little bit easier to say. Chem Dog, Blue Dream, Trainwreck, White Widow. I know what era that is. That's the 90s right there. Brickweed and Dro. Yeah. Hell yeah. Definitely in the 90s. I remember when the Dro started booming. I've been a Pac-Man since I was like fucking 12. I've lived off cannabis my entire life. I've never had a job. I've never even put in a fucking job application before. So cannabis is literally my life. So when people say I'm young and I don't know what I'm doing, I've probably actually been in the cannabis industry a little bit longer than people who are way older than me. G13, Green Crack, Strawberry Cough, Death Star. Yeah, I definitely remember all of these. I definitely remember these. I remember these eras. Just by you guys saying the name, I know exactly which eras y'all talking about because I used to have to get the packs of them. Even the brickweed. I still remember that. Still remember the brickweed. Send it on the fucking pallet and you got to crack that shit open with a crowbar and all of the dirt was in the middle. And then as you get further towards the outside, the packs get better. I don't know if some of y'all been moving packs long enough to even remember conversations like this, but I definitely remember the good old brick weed. Space weed? No, I've never heard of space weed. I've heard of Space Queen. I've heard of Space Dog. I've heard of a lot of different space strains, but I've never heard of space weed. Death Star. I definitely remember the Death Star. The Death Star was like the introduction to like the sours. You know what I'm saying? The Death Star was a similar strain to the sours. Light colored bricks were called the AZ, that good old Airy, that Arizona. Yeah, yeah, you get that good old Airy right there. That was the Mexicans hooking us up with that. Real pine. Yeah, see, pine wouldn't move in my area. Anything pine related is associated with white boy weed. They wouldn't have fucked with it. They wanted the sour where I was from. In my era, we grew up where the sour was pumping. Like if you wasn't smoking sour, I don't even know what the fuck you was smoking. Like don't pass the blunt. Don't pass the blunt if it ain't no sour in it. Chem Dog would have passed it. You know what I'm saying? You could have passed the blunt at some Chem. Um, you could have passed the blunt at some OG. OG would have moved. Georgia Pine. Wow, you guys are going back with it. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. It's 18 people in here and 10 thumbs. Northern Lights. Oh my God. Yeah, we were just talking about Northern Lights. Oh my God. Look up space weed. I'll look it up as soon as I get a chance. So it's common to change the pack names. Yeah, bro, the pack names have been getting changed since the beginning of time. Whatever name of the strain is popular at the moment, it's a bunch of people that's going to lie and say that this is this and this is this. So you might be looking right now to pheno hunt through some seeds of something that you had when you was growing up. And you might get packs from a bunch of different people, and no matter how many times you hunt them, you can't seem to find the strain that you had when you were a child, the strain that you're looking for. And that's because the person who gave you a strain renamed it something that it actually wasn't. They renamed it something that it wasn't. So now you're going back looking for something, and that wasn't even it that you had gotten. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful with shit like that. Yeah, I've had pure tie before. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Tie stick. Shit look like it come braided onto the stick and them long ass fucking, yeah, yeah. Hell yeah, I've had tie. Headband. Hell yeah. Headband. Yes. Love headband. Love headband. Sour cross with OG, man. How could you not love headband? I love headband. That was one of the ones that withstood the test of times too. Like you can definitely still get away with some headband today. Yeah, it happened to me too. So right now I'm still looking for strains that back then somebody gave me as a certain name, and I can't go find that today. Big Bud, Power Plant, White Widow, White Rhino. I definitely remember those days. Oh, the buds on the camera. I'm sorry, I can't get the fucking webcam to be able to focus in right. That is what the fuck is that? This was the Mac one. I'm sorry. That's the Mac one on the camera. I forgot which ones I pulled out the bag. That's the Mac one on the camera. G6. The G6 has a different name too, doesn't it? I'm loving this G6. G6 got a different name though, doesn't it? Like people call G6 something else. It got a call. Is that the jet fuel OG? I believe G6 is jet fuel OG, right? Catskill grape. The Green Man 2 Greenery. You yo, DM me. Yo, the Green Man 2 Greenery, great. Yeah, go ahead and DM me. You said a keyword. Yeah, jet fuel. I knew it was jet fuel. They also call it G6. Yeah. Okay. That shit is potent. That shit is straight fuel. Like ain't nobody about to pass me nothing that's gonna make me give up on that jet fuel OG. That shit is fire. Fire. Oh my God. I'm still in love with SFV OG. Still in love with the SFV. Like the cat piss. Yo, bro, I just got some seeds of some cat piss. I'm about to pop them soon. Crippy in Orlando. Yeah. See, now here's the fucked up part about the Crippy. The Crippy was just a term that was for all good weed. So it was like everything that was just good. It's like today when somebody be like, yo, I got the Zaza or I got the gas. You don't exactly know what strain it is. You just know it's probably something in the upper echelon, I'm saying. And that's how Crippy was always told to me was in Florida. If you got some mids, you got some mids. And I'm saying that's usually the brick weed. And if you got some Crippy, that's usually the top tier shit. That's usually the higher level stuff. Am I right about that? Ganja grower. Did that mean Tangy? Hydro is crippy. So anything grown hydroponic was just automatically labeled crippy. I don't know. Let's move on to the next one. We kind of just touched on it. It was my thoughts on ancient strains. Now everyone's about to feel a little bit differently than I am about this. I don't fuck with none of those. Like, I don't want to deal with none of those ancient strains. Like, all those strains from the past, they can stay in the past. They're good where they are. They serve their purpose. They made us a whole lot of money. They gave us the money to upgrade our gardens. I definitely pay homage to them for the next level they was able to get us to. But do I want any of those today? No. No, I don't want any of those ancient strains today. I don't want no skunk number one. I don't want no northern lights. I don't want no, I don't want none of that shit. None of it. None of it. Because when it comes to growers, as soon as they see a strain, they're gonna ask you what's the cross. As soon as you tell them what the cross is, they're gonna know right then and there whether or not they want it. And if they hear a strain that's as old as their grandmother, I promise you, this new generation is not about to fuck with it. Thai 27% THC. Yeah, I bet. I don't know who lied to you and told you that, but Thai definitely ain't no 27% nothing. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, hell yeah, Sour D gets a pass. Hell fucking yeah. I don't know how old Sour Diesel is though. That's another thing. It's just always been around in my neighborhood since I was little, so I don't exactly know how old Sour Diesel really is. Big Bud. Oh my God. That's probably like a 12% THC strain right there. Pure Tide was 27% THC. I doubt it. Hold up. We ain't even got to ask no questions. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. Bruh. 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 You don't need, bruh. I'm gonna just tell you this. Thai test under 20% THC. So it damn sure ain't no 27. It test under 20. I'll just leave it there. Bobby Tuna lied. Yeah, of course it was non-documented in the illegal market. You could just say whatever the hell you want to. But again, that's why you got to step into the future and start dealing with technology, because people can say whatever they want to. But then when this string gets tested over and over and over and over and over and over and over, and then people got to take an average of all of these different test results and come out with a definitive percentage as to what this strain tests as, Thai test under 20%. Yeah, Thai's like a 7%. Yeah, I was trying to be nice about it, but yeah, Thai's probably around like a 12, a strong 12. I'm being nice by saying 12. Just brickweed, man. We've gotten so far from that. Like, thanks to Thai, and I'm saying it's in a lot of the strains that we got. So thanks to it, we've been able to make it a little bit further. But yeah. Yeah, definitely. I'll check it out. Thank you for always giving the information. I'm willing to access all information. I'm willing to look into everything. Let's move on to the next topic. The next topic is old breeders versus new breeders. Again, I'm gonna grind some people's gears with this live stream. Like, you know what really grinds my gears? Like, yeah, I'm gonna grind some gears with this live stream. What about Durban Poison? I don't like Durban Poison, but I do like Girl Scout Cookie. I don't think that THC percentage decides how high you get. I think that the different terpenes, the way your body's going to react to it, there's a lot of different things that's going to determine what kind of high you get off of something. Because I used to smoke Reggie, Mexican brickweed, all day, and it used to get 5-6 of us high off of one blunt. So I don't think that the THC percentage has to do with anything. But when you're talking about being in the legal market and having to get these strains tested, it ain't really something that you want to be running. And compared to the tolerance that people have today, where cannabis is so much more accessible, and really, really, really good cannabis is actually really, really, really accessible. Like in Colorado, you could just go to the vending machine, put your money in, and then drop you a pack out, like some fire. You know what I'm saying? So the tolerance difference is very different today than it would have been back then. You'd have got a 14% THC strain back then, and it would have knocked you on your fucking socks. You know what I'm saying? You get a 14% THC strain today, you'll be lucky if it even moves. But if it does, yeah. And I also think that they be lying about a lot of the fucking THC percentages. So I don't even really know what the THC percentages really be, because you can't tell me that this little ass bud that I'm holding in my hand, that 14% of it is THC. I also don't believe that. Hell no. I know some strains that claim to be a high THC. That's boof. Boof. Yo, Natty, you ever looked at what strains be winning like the competitions and shit? And you like, yo, not only have I never heard of that strain in my life, it looked dirt. But you telling me that this is a 32% THC testing strain and it's supposed to be fire, and I can look at it and tell you that it's dirt? Now we have an issue. So I don't believe all of those THC percentages. No, I don't strictly go off of that. I'm just talking about the people who are in like the legal markets that have to deal with THC percentages. Because you run a whole room of purple punch and try to go and sell that shit after you get a 19% THC strain, you gonna have some issues. Yeah, that's why you got to start breeding. Because like me, let's say you bred Acapulco Gold with something that you got that was actually good. The best thing that you could do for me is be like, yo, here, smoke this. And when I say, what is it? Be like, just smoke it. And then I smoke it and be like, oh, yeah, this is damn, this shit right here. What the fuck is this? And you'll be like, yo, that's Acapulco Gold crossed with this. And I'll be like, oh, okay, now you're starting to change my mind about this. Because if I'm just seeing a name, I'm just not gonna smoke that shit. So like, if I ain't gonna even lie to you, I'm gonna see the name and know off rip that I'm not smoking that shit. It's not happening. I was making a joke earlier about one of the breeders, People Under the Stairs, and I actually love People Under the Stairs because they work with a lot of the chems, the sour diesels. They work with a lot of the gas, so I actually do like them. But they did Wedding Cake cross with Northern Lights, and I'm like, this is how you wind up exiting stage left in the cannabis industry, is by trying to breed Northern Lights into something that we have today. I know I need to open my mind. I'm terrible at this shit, but I see certain names and the strain is as old as my mother or my grandmother, and automatically I'm like, that's out the question. And the only reason I'm thinking like this is because I'm listening to the voices of the youth, and I know that the youth, Tangy, oh my god, I know, oh my god, Tangy might be like one of the worst weeds on planet Earth. I fucking hate Tangy. Yo, Natty, you fucked with that alien rift? I ain't gonna lie to you. I hated that. Oh my god. We was talking about Vader OG on here the other. I fucking hated the alien rift. It was piney and lemony, and I oh my god. I was not a fan of that alien rift at all. I ran like 4 or 5 different phenos of that shit. It just smells way too piney and lemony, no gas on it. It grows ugly. I was not a fan of that alien riff. I was not a fan of that. So yeah, what I do is I listen to the voice of the streets, and I know. Did you, bro? I know you ain't just mentioned the auto flower in the real talk cannabis podcast. I know he did not just mention the auto. Nothing OG about that alien. There's not a drop of OG in that alien rift, and nobody's gonna convince me that there's any OG in the alien rift. But did I just see something about an auto? I know. Exactly. So Natty, when I see you grow that thing out and I see what you do with it, you might be able to change my mind about it. But hold on. We still not gonna skip past the fact that I think I just read something about an auto. I know we didn't. Hold up. I'm gonna wait on his response for this. Yo, Ganja Grow. Yo, oh God. But hold on. I got. Oh man, auto flowers? Okay, look. That listen, autoflower conversations aren't allowed in this live stream. We ain't wasting no time with no autoflowers. We ain't wasting not a drop of energy on no autoflowers. I don't care, indoor, outdoor, a mixture greenhouse. We ain't doing no auto nothing, because even if I find a good pheno, I can't even keep the motherfucker. And now I got no, not cuts only. I'm still willing to pop seeds and be able to pheno hunt through some seeds. F1s preferably, so I can get that variation. I'm saying, so I prefer F1 so I can find my very own pheno. But autos, yeah, nah, we ain't got no time for none of that. Oh yeah, yeah, Kenny grows in that kind of situation. Yeah, let her waste some time with some autos. Hunting or cuts, that's the only thing I'm dealing with. If I ain't hunting no seeds or sourcing a good cut, I ain't wasting no time with that. Photo regs, that's what I'm talking about. I need something that I can clone and put into mass production. See, there's some home growers on here, but I'm going to tell you, even home growers, do not be scared to upgrade, man. Get to your bag. Get to your bag, man. Do not be scared to harvest and reinvest back into your garden over and over and over and over and over. You might not have gotten this for the bag. You might just gotten this because you truly love cannabis. And if you truly love cannabis, let it love you back by upgrading your grow, by just upgrading your grow. Go ahead and go for it. Stop being scared. Stop worrying about it. Just go for it. Dive head in, man. Harvest that tent, get you another tent. Harvest again, get you a light for that tent. Once you harvest both of those tents, you can get on an every 35-day cycle. You harvest in every 35 days. Once you harvest in every 35 days, go ahead and get you a third tent. Now you harvest in every 3 weeks. Go ahead and get you a fourth tent. Now you harvest in every 2 weeks. All you got to do is be able to keep up with the trimming at that point. So go ahead and upgrade. It ain't even that big of a deal. And now with the LEDs, man, look, a space heater is about 1500 watts. My HLG 550 is 480 watts. It would take almost 4 of those to equal what one space heater would equal. One space heater is a 4-light grow room. 2 space heaters is 2 4-light grow rooms. 2 of them. That's 16 units every 2 months for the price of 2 space heaters worth of electricity. Now, of course, nutrients is gonna come along with that, but now that they got the Floraflex and all of these other dry sauce that you can get, man, the nutrients ain't shit no more. And if you're doing no-till or something like that, just forget about it. Just fucking forget about it. Fucking forget about it. Upgrade, people. Do not be afraid to upgrade. And the last topic we're gonna go with is making it in the cannabis industry. Making it in the cannabis industry. And again, we'll go back to it. Number one thing is knowing your area. You got to know what the people want in your area. You got to know what kind of terpene profile that they're looking for. You got to know what the new hype is. You got to know what the new wave is. You got to go out and ask some questions. You got to talk to the older and the younger people, because you got to be able to tackle both markets. You got to have something that might not be too potent that the OGs don't want to smoke it, but not so weak that the young Gs don't want to smoke it. Or you want to have something for both parties. That's just how you're gonna have to do it to get to this bag, man. You can't just strictly think that, hey, I'm just gonna grow this because I seen somebody on YouTube growing it, but nobody in my area likes it. Because then you fuck around and harvest and don't nobody in your area want the shit. That's not cool. That's not cool. So to make it in this cannabis industry, source good genetics. Number one thing, source good genetics. I don't care if you're growing them from seed. I don't care if you sourced out a clone. Source good genetics. What's the cross on the white runts? White runts is runts. White runts and regular runts ain't no difference. White runts is just a description of regular runts. I guess when they did the original run, it was one of the phenols that they found inside of the runts when they found it. It's almost like OG Kush Breath and Girl Scout Cookie. OG Kush Breath and Girl Scout Cookie are the exact same strain, different phenols from the exact same hunt. Can a man go eat? You asked the question? Did I miss it? Can a man go eat? No answer to my. Hold on. I must have missed your question, bro. What about Durban poison? I see that question, and then I don't see you ask another question. Put the question back in there, because I didn't see it. Yeah, Jack's for like 60 for 25 pounds. You see what I'm saying? The only thing I ain't like about Jack's nutrient is it wouldn't dissolve, and it left like basically sand in the bottom of my resin. When you're dealing with a watering system, you can't deal with strains that don't. You can't deal with nutrients that doesn't dissolve clear. So I would prefer Floraflex over Jax, and Floraflex is black owned, but I would prefer Floraflex over Jax because the Jax just didn't dissolve for me. Bad experience with it. Did I do something wrong? Possibly. Uh, but I don't want to deal with shit that's just that hard. Veg Bloom. I did Veg Bloom. I think Jax is better than Veg Bloom. I ain't gonna hold you. But Veg Bloom is a good one. I think that Veg Bloom just kind of, it was the one that came steaming out of the gate as one of the dry amendments that you could be using. So I think that everybody was just Veg Bloom, and then the Jungle Boys came out with that interview with Burner, where Burner walked through the Jungle Boys facility, and you could see that they were using Veg Bloom, and everybody want to be like the Jungle Boys, so Veg Bloom just skyrocketed afterwards. But I think it works great. Dr. Earth all day. Dr. Earth is dry amendments, isn't it? Jax made my grow stretch in foxtail. I don't think that was the nutrients. I think that was either your environment or your plants getting too close to the light. Because stretching and foxtailing isn't really a nutrient issue. That's really a environment issue. If you if your lights are too far away from your plants, they'll stretch. If they're getting overwatered, they'll stretch. If they start to foxtail, then they're probably too close to the light or your room is too hot. Can't get Jax here yet. It's Veg Bloom or Athena. Hey, look, I don't care what nutrient company that you use, and they all work. I don't give a shit. Like all of them work. They all grow good cannabis. Like I don't really see a difference. They're all getting their salts, and they're adding it to water at different ratios, and they're selling it to you in a different package. But most of them are probably getting the exact same things. NPK Raw does really well too. Yes, I love NPK Raw. I use the raw phosphorus and raw potassium and the yucca and the raw kelp and the raw I think it's the amino. No, it's not the amino. The amino is the red one. What's the pink one? The raw nutrient, the pink one. I don't feel like getting up to go see what it is. You know what I'm talking about, the pink pack. Comments, no one. YouTube comments, no. Yeah, bro. So sometimes it takes the YouTube comments a little bit to register. There's a little delay from when you put your question to when I can actually see it, because I don't even see any more questions from you on here. Go ahead. Omina. Yes, the Omina, the aminos. Yes. Uh Great product, high in nitrogen. I believe it's fish emulsion. Does great. Maxi Bloom. Look, people, it does not matter what nutrient that you use. I don't care. They all work. When I use Canna, it worked great. When I used advanced nutrients, it worked great. When I used Jax, besides the fact that it didn't dissolve, it worked great. I went back to using Canna, still works great. I don't care what nutrient you're running, it doesn't make a difference. They're all buying raw salts, they're adding it to water, and they're selling it to you at different ratios. Some of them make them different colors, just so you could tell part A from part B. But they're all getting the raw salts from the exact same manufacturers, and they're all just adding it to water and charging you for water weight. So it doesn't matter what nutrient that you're using; they all work. You guys see the homie. Uh, Let me make sure I get his name right on here. It's the homie Natty G. Mr. Flamingo Jones. You see Mr. Flamingo Jones on here? Go look at some of his grows where he's showing off the fact that none of this shit matters. You'll see him out there using that damn, yo, Flamingo Jones, put in that those big white bags you was using. They kind of high on the numbers, but what's those big white bags you was using again? I remember you was using those. You done killed like 4 or 5 grows with them shits already. I forgot the name of that company you was using with the big ass white bags of the salts that you was using. You'll see him put it in here in a second if he's still in the building. But it doesn't matter what nutrient you're using, organic, synthetic, none of it matters. It depends on what medium you in, depends on what nutrients you should be using. And no way that I'm going organic and still using nutrients. If I'm going organic, it's gonna be no-till with dry amendments. That's the farthest that I'm going. I'm not going to go organic and then use organic bottled nutrients. No, I can make my own fermented plant juices and do the shit myself. What's happening with you, bro? Welcome in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and share this shit over into the Instagram. Let people know where we at. Get them involved in this conversation. 1 second. I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, it doesn't curing. Um, I'm glad that people are asking questions in here because we'll be able to get some different outlooks on this. Am I curing? I don't cure buds. That's a hippie myth. Curing is a hippie myth. If you dry properly and you begin trimming at the right time, by the time that you're done trimming, them things is ready to go. I ain't never cured nothing. You think that I'm about to pull all of this shit down and then put it in some big ass jars and go ahead and burp all of these big ass jars and then turn around and finally throw them things in the turkey bags. First off, I'm gonna need the gigantic pickle jars. And if you think I'm gonna be reaching in them all the time, hell no. What I do is I dry properly 7 to 10 days, and I don't do the 60-60 thing. I do like a 70-50, you know what I'm saying? Because terpenes don't start to burn off until like what, like 82 degrees or something. So I do like a 70-50. It lasts about 7 to 10 days. I usually start trimming around like day 6, because if you harvest in a big room, you got to start early, so by the time that you get to the very last plant, it's not too dry. So when you first start, some of the plants might still be a little moist than you would like them to be. Oh, no, 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 no. The buds that are on the camera. No, no, no. It's just the focus is fucked up, and I don't know how to get that shit straight. So fuck it. Just look at the wolf. Yeah. But yeah, I believe curing altogether is a hippie myth. If you dry the buds properly and they're good, they come down. That thing's out the door. People would be out of business if they was curing weed out here. Imagine I have to sit these in a jar and burp them for the next 6 months before I can release them to the public. That's a hippie myth. Yeah, the buds on the camera are just on display. No, I'm not curing those. I don't cure whatsoever. I don't have time for that. 14 to 20 days drying? Hold up. 14 to 20, 6 months. Six, ooh, bro, bro. In 6 months, I done had 6 harvests. Yeah, facts. Facts. You just got your house booming. You just got jars of that gas sitting around. 6 months of curing? What? How many days do I dry? Anywhere between 7 to 10 days. But I usually got to start around day 6, because by day 7, they're really starting to get dry. But since the room is so big, I gotta start the beginning early. So by the time that I get to the last ones, they're not dust. Yeah, shit. I wish Pax would sit around for months, man. I got money to get. I'm trying to get these things right on out the door and do it again. I gotta the way my rooms are set up, it's a every 35-day harvest. So I gotta get these things in and out. I ain't trying to be holding on to all of that. I'd rather hold on to cash. Um 2-week cure and they're gone. I don't even do a 2-week cure. Sometimes people are buying this shit as it's getting trimmed. I ain't even gonna hold you. I ain't even gonna sit here and lie to you and try to be professional like everybody else. There's some people that ain't trying to wait. Like they, like, yo, bro, I'm in trim jail right now. How much you got trimmed? You got HP? Yeah, I'm sliding through, bro. You can't drink fresh wine. Yeah, but cannabis isn't wine. Cannabis isn't wine. Cannabis doesn't have to ferment. Yeah, those packs got shoes. Them things got to get right the fuck on out of here. I don't have 2 weeks. If I wait 2 weeks and 2 more weeks, I'm harvesting again. Oh yeah, 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 hell yeah. But where you are, bro, hell yeah. Sometimes yeah, in your case, hell yeah. I'm sitting back and I'm waiting. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'll just keep waiting for the I'll keep waiting for them droughts to hit. And as soon as them droughts hit, I'm not Pac-Man, Pac-Man. Yeah, that's me. Vaping. Bro, vaping is for soccer moms. We don't do no vaping around here. Vaping is for soccer moms. I don't got time for that. Vaping. Hell no. Roll this blunt up. Roll this joint up. But vaping? Yeah, no, I ain't doing none of that. Vaporizer? Yeah, no, 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 no. Maybe if there's some people with some lung ailments, that's what the vaporizers and shit like that is there for. But if you're gonna think you're gonna see me walking around with a pen, I don't do no concentrates. I ain't even gonna hold you. I got too much shit to do throughout the day. Like I got kids, I got 8 dogs, I got 5 different companies that I'm trying to run. I don't be having time to be smacked off of them dabs and edibles and waxes and butters and shatters and hell no, I ain't fucking with none of that. None of that. I got way too much shit to do. Hit the joint a couple of times and keep it moving. You ain't gonna have me stuck on the couch for the next 6 hours not getting nothing done. I'm trying to get to this money. I can't afford to be slumped into the couch like that for 6 hours. Like them shits do me dirty. Dirty. Hell no, I can't. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, flower vapes. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I don't really see no issue with those. That's the ones where you can actually put like the dry flower in and it just turns it into a vapor for you, right? I ain't got no issue with that. That's cool. Heat wand. Yeah, I don't really know nothing about that. Yeah, I'm a busy ass person, man. I ain't got time to be fucking with them extracts like y'all be doing. I don't know how you niggas survive off of that shit. I'd be fucking dead. Fucking dead. I've never done a dab in my life. You know what I'm saying? I done fucked with some moon rocks, some Keith blunts, like Packwoods, Bearwoods. Those was fucking dirt. The ones I made myself was even better. So yeah, I might fuck with some moon rock or something like that every now and then. But if you think that I'm about to heat this rig up with a torch, yo, as soon as a motherfucker pull a torch out and it's time to smoke, I'm out of here. Fuck wrong with you. I already know I'm in the wrong space. I'm in the wrong crib. If we getting ready to smoke and you pull a fucking torch out, I'm out of here. Unless it ain't no lighters in this motherfucker, you pull a torch out, I'm gone. Out of here. I ain't even fucking with no edibles, and my wife own an edible company. You think I'm eating them shits? I'm gonna tell y'all a story. The last time that I had one of my wife's edibles, right? I decided to eat what I eat like two or three. I ate like 2 or 3 of her brownies. So I thought I was gangster. Now I'm saying smoking me some jet fuel. Now I'm saying no. What was I smoking? I was smoking a hazmat OG. So I'm smoking a hazmat OG, big blunt, blowing it down. I eat one edible. I'm like, man, this shit for the suckers. So I eat another edible. Man, this shit for the suckers. I eat like half of another edible. Man, this shit whack. I don't know what everybody talking about. So I'm like, yo, take me to the store. We go to Walmart. Bruh, I'm in Walmart for like 2.5 hours. And by the time that I realize that I'm in Walmart, I have absolutely nothing in my hand and there's absolutely nothing in the cart. I was just walking around Walmart for like 2.5 hours and didn't even know that I was walking around Walmart. That was the end of my edible experience right there. That was bruh, I'm in the pots and pans section. Bro, I'm in the pots and pans section over there looking at crock pots and shit. I don't even know what the fuck I'm there for. I don't know why I came to the store in the first place. All I could do was laugh at myself and then leave empty handed after spending 2.5 hours walking through Walmart. Security was probably on the camera just looking like, yo, this nigga done been through every aisle. Like, I never seen nobody who went through every aisle. Like, he's a man. What is he doing? And wait a minute, nigga. What is this nigga doing in the bras and panties section? This yeah, so that was the end of my edible experience right there. Called that shit quits after that. I called that shit quits after that. I thought edibles was for the suckers. I was huffing them brownies down like it wasn't nothing. I'm like, nigga, you said this was unleaded, nigga? You taking them shits like it wasn't nothing, man. About 20 minutes later, them edibles parked me. And the worst part about edibles is you fall asleep and you wake back up higher than you went to sleep. Like I woke up, I was all itchy and sweaty, and I was more high than I was when I went to sleep off the edibles. Like like it almost feel like a hangover when you finally wake back up off them edibles. Fuck that. I can't imagine doing no fucking rosin or sift or anything. Nope, I leave that up to the professionals, which would be you guys. That ain't gonna work for me. Yeah, them edibles don't play no games. I can't imagine what no dab or no wax is about to be doing. Can't even imagine. My Tahoe OG just popped, bro. Tahoe fire, Tahoe fire, and it got one of the most unique profiles of any of the OGs that I ever had. The Tahoe OG crossed with the peanut butter breath is what made the Brisker OG. You can see me run the Brisker OG all over my page. Hash rosin going for 100 a gram. See, here's the bad part about the extracts. They do sell for good money. They just take forever to sell. That's the only issue. They do sell for good money. They just take forever to sell. Know what I'm saying? So, oh man, as a grower, the last thing you want to be doing is dropping extracts off at the dispensary because one, they ain't gonna probably pay you up front for it, and if they do pay you up front for it, they not gonna take much. They might take like maybe like 7-8 grams at a time, and then you're gonna have to cut them a discount because they trying to sell it at 100 a yam. So, not really something I want to get into. Dab's not as strong. Fuck that, bro. I don't believe y'all. I don't believe y'all. Y'all trying to have me in Walmart for 6 hours this time. I'm on to y'all. I'm on to y'all. I'm on to y'all now. Y'all trying to have me come back on the next podcast with a story about how I done did some dabs and winded up in Kmart instead of Walmart this time. I'm going to be in Kmart for 6 hours. Like, nah, y'all not about to do me like that. Y'all not about to do me like that. I love y'all in the chat, but y'all not about to do me like that. Nah, bro, not D-Rat. No, you're not about to get me like that, bro. I'm on to y'all. I'm on to you niggas, man. Y'all ain't about to do me like that. Y'all seen I was in Walmart for y'all seen I was in Walmart for 2 hours. Now you niggas is trying to have me in Kmart for 6 hours. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Not I. Niggas ain't about to play me like that. Y'all gonna see me posting my damn stories about this shit. Oh yeah, but don't forget for everybody that came in late, I got confirmation from Gas House earlier today that in a couple of weeks we're gonna be able to get Gas House in here. So you guys are gonna love that. Kingston approved, man. We're gonna have Gas House in the building. I didn't even think he was gonna respond to me when I gave him the shout out. Big homie responded in like 10 minutes, threw me up in his story and all of that. So we gonna have him in the building soon. I don't care what it costs. I need us to be able to get that knowledge and have that video saved right here of us actually being able to talk to Kingston approved, man. Had that Pluto on here, man. Get that good old Pluto on here. Man, I failed growing many times. I got so much equipment now. Grow in small tent, all good. Yeah, bro, just grow. Just grow. Don't matter how big or how small, just grow. The worst thing that I did was buy all of that goddamn HPS equipment. Now I got fucking Raptor hoods, these gigantic fucking single-ended HPS hoods. I done had to open up a storage unit to be able to house all of the fucking HPS equipment I done had. The hydro store got so much of that shit they don't even want it. I done tried to give it to him for free. That's how much of this shit that I done got. So what I do is the Gavitas that I got, whenever it's time to fire up a new spot, I'll throw the Gavitas in for a quick round just to get a round up and running, harvest, take the money from the harvest, invest into some LEDs, put the Gavitas back on the back burner, get a new spot, throw the Gavitas back up, new bulbs, and I'm saying run them, get the money up, get some LEDs, get the Gavitas back out of there. So the Gavitas is really like my startup for any new spot that we're going to be firing up. Throw them Gavitas up real quick, get me a nice little harvest out of it. The electricity bill going to suck ass, and I'm saying, but I'll probably have to oversize my AC unit just to be able to keep up with the Gavitas in the first round. But then once I get the LEDs, the AC damn near won't even be on half the time. Yeah. But look, I don't want to keep you guys all night. I know it's getting late. I don't know what time it is over on the West Coast time, but I really want to thank you guys for being able to get in here. Make sure that y'all stay tuned. Make sure you hit that like, hit that subscription, hit that notification bell. Normally, we doing this on Zoom, so y'all go ahead and get y'all Zoom accounts up and running. Y'all go ahead and get your email addresses up and running. Send me your emails over to the DM on Beast Coast Grower 420 on Instagram, and we'll be able to get you guys in here so you can show off your grow, because we normally got more panel members in here. I just gave my homie the night off tonight. Just decided to fire this one up by myself. But normally we doing this through Zoom, so we'll be able to invite you guys in. You could come in, show your grow, any problems that you have, and if you ain't having any problems and you just want to show off your grow, we always love to see badass grows. We don't care if it's in a tent, we don't care if it's in a closet, we don't care if it's in a big ass room. We want to see your grow. I don't care what size it is. We don't give a fuck about none of that. If you growing, we want to see it. So go ahead and get your Zoom account set up. Go ahead and shoot your email addresses over to Beast Coast Grower 420 over on Instagram, or you can contact 813 Genetics over on Instagram. That's the co-host. We're going to have Frosty McNasty in the building. We're going to have Gas House in the building soon. If I could get Gas House, trust me, I'm trying to get Viola in here. If I could get Viola in here, trust me, I'm trying to get Tyson in here. I'm trying to get a whole bunch of different high-level growers that could tell us the ins and out about this, because as Black people, we don't have nobody that could teach us about this cannabis industry. Everyone who's willing to teach us ain't us. So I'm just trying to get us to be able to teach us. We done had a 400-year hiccup, and I'm just trying to get us picked back up and back up to speed, because since the cannabis came out, we haven't had our fair chance to play yet. So I'm trying to get us our fair chance to play by giving y'all this information. Now, I don't care what color you are, I don't care what race you are, you're all welcomed into my channel. Y'all all gonna get the same love. Y'all all gonna get the same love. Y'all all gonna get the same reaction. All questions will still get answered. Everybody's invited into the Zoom. We don't give a fuck what color you are. But self-preservation is the number one rule in nature. So I have to be about my people first. As I end this, it was actually a topic that came up earlier. When I said that I started this to be able to have Black growers a place where we can go and we are the ones that control the platform, I actually got some really bad feedback off of it. And it made it weird to me, because when people go to Chinatown, it's all Chinese people working in Chinatown, and they only hire their own. They only educate their own on the business, and no one calls it racist. No one calls it segregation. No one says it's discrimination. When you go to Little Italy, there's a bunch of Italians that run Little Italy, and no one says anything about the Italians running Little Italy. There's a little Greece, there's a little everything. But the second that Black people say that we want to get something for Black people, all of a sudden it's racist. All of a sudden we're trying to preach segregation. All of a sudden we're trying to do all of this weird shit, but it's only us that have to deal with those type of things about this. And it's just weird to me, because when you go to Chinatown, you never be like, man, these Chinese people are racist for opening up their own place where they can sell their own stuff and deal with their own people. You never go to Little Italy and be like, man, these people are racist for only hiring Italians here. Like, who the fuck do they think they are to only be hiring and sticking up for their own people? Y'all never think like that. You guys go to Italian restaurants, it's nothing but Italians working there. No one ever thinks like that. Why is it only when Black people say that we want to start something for Black people that all of a sudden we're the bad ones and we got to be hating on everybody else and we're trying to separate ourselves from all the other races just because we want something for Black people? That's just a fucking very odd situation to me. And only we have to go through that. And I don't like that only we have to go through that. We should be able to speak as freely as all the other races and start something for ourselves just like all the other races do. And I don't feel like we should have to be called racist for starting something for our own race. We've been left behind a few hundred years. We just trying to catch up. That's all we trying to do. Don't take it personal. We love everybody. We don't care about none of that. Everybody's invited into the stream. Everybody will be treated with the same amount of respect. But I had to start a platform that was ran by us for us. So you guys make sure that you hit that subscribe. You guys make sure you hit that notification bell. You guys make sure you hit that thumbs up. Don't be afraid to share the stream. You already know. Beast Coast, baby. Yeah.